Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, the drum pad gets smart, a lamp that you can fully customize, and a chalice for your drinks and snacks. It's episode 100, guys! So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for the KickCast, the podcast where we go out and find projects and let you know if you should backtrack or sack them. Welcome to episode 100, my friends. I'm Ktdata, one half the show. And joining me is a guest co-host for this episode. The co-host of the Noms podcast, Twitching Kitchen fame herself, and the cool duct tape diva, the one and only Cousin Jane. How are you doing today?
Oh gosh, that's quite an intro. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks.
Didn't you know this is what we do in this show? Is everybody gets really like extravagant intros, because I always like spend this first half just worshiping Drew and how awesome he is. And you guys may be wondering why Drew isn't here. Drew actually brought us a vidya for you guys to see, so let's switch it over there and hear some kind words from the one and only Drew Tyler.
Hey everybody, I wish I could be there for the 100th episode. I'm sure it's going to be slamming with KT and Jane. I bet it's going to be awesome. I can only imagine what they've got planned out for you. I'm sorry, I've got to take a quick break. I'm taking a couple shows off to kind of get back into the swing of fall semester and all the other millions of things that I do. Hope you can forgive me, but I will see you soon when the episodes aren't too much more. Boy, episode 100. Man, we've really done this. We've done some awesome things. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. I appreciate it. KT appreciates it. Now, go have a show.
We missed you, Drew.
Aww.
I'm going to be excited when he comes back, but we do miss you, buddy. And so you guys might be wondering, the guy, he's literally had 0 days to move back into his, he's a professor at a local university, and they've been remodeling his studio all summer long, and literally he had like 1 day to move everything back in, and classes started the next day. So
Dang.
He's been running around that, and his 3 kids are now all back in school, so he's trying to get all
teachers
that
have a lot of craziness at this time of year. I'm friends with a lot of teachers.
Yeah, so that's why Drew's not here, but we miss you, man. But I'm glad you're here, Cousin Jane.
I'm glad you're here too.
Yep.
Because I would just be running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Yeah. And like, to give you guys a perspective, everybody's like, why is the quality of that video so bad? He barely had enough time to record that on his phone and send it to me via text message, and that's why it looks like so low quality, because it
through text message.
Yeah, it converted it into like some low quality video so it could send. That's kind of dumb, but
oh well.
But
that's okay.
That will give you an idea how busy he is. Okay, so Cousin, before we actually jump into the projects, we have some news that we would like to talk about and cover. The first part of it is, Cousin, you've backed kind of a lot of different projects and stuff before, right?
I have backed them.
Well, you've at least backed a few of them, and
I've actually backed only one. Okay. And I still don't have it.
You still don't have it? But are they still giving you updates? Yeah,
they sent me an update yesterday. Or maybe it was today.
So one of the things that a lot of these projects do is they don't actually have the actual device. Like in your case, I don't think they actually had it created. And they have a lot of prototypes and stuff. And if you notice, when you go through Kickstarter projects, some of them tend to be super, super long, because they're actually trying to show you the process of it. So there's lots of photos and everything. And Kickstarter had never had a really good way of compressing them down into kind of a gallery format. So what Kickstarter is doing, and they've announced this, it's not rolled out for everybody quite yet. But what they're going to do is they're coming out with a prototype gallery. So that way you can go to one spot in your project, and it can show photos and videos of each step of the project in development, and you can kind of go through the history. So they've given you some pictures on what it looks like. I actually looked up one of these projects, and if you go to their page and you just scroll down right here, here's their gallery right here. So you can click on View Gallery, and it it's kind of like your normal slider when you go through. It gives you little pictures of things. It shows you like, this is a production prototype, here's your design prototype, a functional prototype, and proof of concept, and you can keep scrolling to see all of these different projects. So this is Mune, a new kind of electronic instrument that they're talking about, but it's kind of a nice, convenient way that you can just scroll through and see the different steps of the project. You may not see your final product, but you can see how it's grown through the process.
That's pretty cool.
Do you kind of like this kind of stuff, seeing the behind the scenes, of things putting together?
Yeah, I always get a little sad when they don't send me an email after a while, because the only thing I've ordered was the Vortex, the water thaw thing, and I get a little sad and a little anxious when they don't send me something. So it's always good to like have this in the background and be like, okay, so this is the step they're on, and it looks like it's really being worked on. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, so I like you kind of see the process of things going, but the one thing is, and you kind of got a little view of that today when you were kind of going through everything, and you saw how much, how long some of these projects can be, right? The page can just scroll on and on and on. This kind of helps it compress it a little bit, and hopefully, I haven't tried this on mobile, but it might make a better experience if you're on your phone and looking at these.
Hopefully.
All right, so on to our second news. Today, Indiegogo has this awesome article that they posted, and I love the title of it. Your backers are investors. Treat them that way. So, cousin, do you kind of feel like you're an investor in the project that you actually backed?
Yeah. With the what do they call them? The updates. I think it's very awesome that they do that. They don't just take your money and then just go off and kind of work in the shadows and then hopefully hand you your product. They actually keep you updated, and they're like, hey, we know that you gave us money. They like stress that point. We know you gave us this money, and we really appreciate you backing us. And they just give more information than you would typically ask for. So you feel like you're actually part of the process.
Okay, yeah, and that's I feel like we harp on this on the show a lot, that communication is kind of the biggest key. And of course, you go to the actual blog post page, the first thing, communicating with your backers. So keeping communicating, because I think your thaw is probably overdue in terms of delivery, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
it was supposed to be delivered in like 3 or 4 months, and it's been, I think, about 2 years.
Yeah. So that's what's great about it but you're still confident that they're going to deliver because you've been getting updates from them. So communication is always important, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier about having updates that build relationships. So you use that almost as a personal meeting, saying, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing," and you want to know. You want to. The article says you want to kind of assure them that they made a good choice in giving them money for the project. So give them kind of, like I said, behind the scenes stuff. Ask them to share your hashtag using a hashtag. Pro tip: if you're going to use a hashtag, make sure you Urban Dictionary it first, because that'll keep you out of trouble.
Yeah.
Ask them to share a photo of the product when they get them, incentivize them somehow, like have a referral program, or invite them to kind of like help test out behind the scenes and stuff. Because that is another thing that I think people overlook. People love getting, you might not be a full product, but they love getting a product that they can try and give you feedback and stuff on. So
yeah, people love alpha and beta testing stuff.
Yeah, so that is a great way to kind of keep people going while you're creating all your stuff. All right, so cousin, I don't remember if this was actually part of the show when you last co-hosted, but we like to call this the Kick Shouts, where we'll describe a project in 120 characters or less. This was actually sent in by these guys, and the project today is called Rock Dove, and there are premium, intuitively designed, minimalistic leather accessories embedded with the smartest eco-friendly tracking technology. So I actually looked at this. It's kind of pretty cool. These are kind of cool leather bags that are totally environmentally friendly. I don't know a lot about leather making. But inside each of them they have a Bluetooth device. So if you lose it, hopefully you can find it if it's in the same room, or they're working on making a crowdsourced thing. So if it goes by another phone, it can kind of detect it and give you an idea where to triangulate and find it. So make sure you guys go check them out. That is Rock Dove on Kickstarter. Okay, so cousin, now it's to the fun part. We're going into our projects. So I know this, and probably people at NOMS know this, but when you were going through school, you were in band, of course, right?
Yes.
And so hopefully you have some kind of, because you played the flute.
Clarinet.
Close. I knew it was one of the two. But so you've probably at least seen people use drum pads and kind of know a little bit of the background of drum pads, right?
Yeah.
So the problem with the drum pad is they're good kind of practice things, but it's just one surface, right? You get one sound out of a drum pad.
Mm-hmm.
So our first project tonight is called the Bop Pad, and it's a smart fabric drum pad. So what happens with the Bop Pad is it looks like your normal drum pad, if you look at it, but on there's actually 4 different quadrants you can use, and you can program those quadrants to play different sounds or react differently. What's great about it is it also is velocity sensitive, so how fast or how hard you hit the drum pad will reproduce a sound. It has continuous radius and pressure, so you can like use one as like a hold pedal or something and make different sound effects with it. It's fully programmable with MIDI notes, and can detect all these 4 spots on it, and it runs off USB. What I love about this is that you can actually totally almost put a full drum kit into one single drum pad.
Yeah. I like the recording part of it.
Yeah, and you can see how much you can program this. It's fully programmable. You can change it. And what's cool about this is I love the guys who actually make this. These guys are the company is called Keith McMillan, and you may have heard a couple of them because they've actually done, this is their 3rd or 4th Kickstarter, I believe. And they've introduced things like the Q Nexus and what was the other one, the Q Needle, which are kind of MIDI pads. So more like you see on DJs where they're kind of pressing those pads and stuff.
Yeah, little squares.
Yeah, they created a lot of those, and now they're trying this drum pad, which I think is great. Because for me, I can't have a whole drum kit in my house. I can't even play the drums, but those are kind of some of the problems, right? If you want to learn how to play the drums, you can't have them. Cousin, does this look like something that you would use?
Probably not me, but I could see our band at church using it. Just for like creating our own drum sounds instead of like buying the one that comes with the tracks and stuff. So yeah, I could see, probably not me getting it. I would track it, but our church would probably buy it.
You're telling me you wouldn't want to become like one of those like cool instrumentalist YouTubers where you're playing like a full song on it?
No.
I love.
If I wanted to learn drums, I would rather learn on an actual drum set. I think that this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool because it's compatible with most music software. They're actually using web MIDI and web audio API, so it's like fully programmable, and you can integrate it into a lot of other cool workflows. So I think as a musician, this thing is really cool, and I can't wait to see you go to a concert and some guy's like just playing a whole concert.
That's what I
want to see. This is way cool. So did you mention, is this a backtrack or sack for you, cousin?
I think this is a track for me. But I really like the idea of it.
Yeah, this one's a back for me because I am a big kind of per player of wanting to try different input methods for making music. I mean, for this show, the way I actually switch all these scenes and stuff is I actually use a MIDI pad. So it'd be interesting to see if I got one of these, how I could put it into this.
Do the drums.
I could just be playing the drums the entire time on the show while we're switching that.
Well, you can use your fingers too. It lets you use your fingers.
Yeah, that's true. You don't even have to use a drumstick because it's sensitive enough where you can just tap on it and it does cool things. So I think that's cool. So that is the Bop Pad. All right, so on to our next project, and this is the one that you picked, cousin.
Yeah.
And I have no segue to go with a drum pad in this, which is really, really embarrassing because usually I can connect them somehow.
Well, I guess it's also something that's customizable because in the drum set you can customize that. This is a customizable lamp. It's yeah.
All right, so what is our second project?
People sleep and people need light to be in the band, and there it is. There's our segue.
Yeah, good. I good effort. That was better than me. So, but cousin, so what is our second project tonight?
So our second project, it's called the Orchid Lamps, and I don't know if the actual name of it is lamps or if it's Orchid Lamp. Okay, Orchid LED table lamp, and I think this is super cool. I could see hotels really taking use of this because I think that people would get more use of it there in the beginning, and then people would buy it for their house. But I really like the idea of this. It's a customizable LED lamp. You can actually, I thought that the video was hilarious in the beginning. You can actually switch from like a bright light to like a warm light, like, you know, at nighttime where they tell you.
Yeah, so you can change the color temperature from daylight to indoor
like
yellow light.
Yeah, an indoor. And I think it's really cool. There's two different kinds. There's the satellite and the master lamp. The master lamp is cool because it's sort of like a coffee maker. You can actually set a timer to it to like wake you up. Like it'll gradually come on and then it'll act like morning light coming through. So if you have like a weird like sleep schedule, like maybe you're a flight attendant or you work the overnight shift and just weird stuff like that, it can wake you up with like morning daylight.
Yeah, or if you don't even have a window in your room, this is a great way too, because it kind of tries to simulate the sun rising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we keep all of our windows closed unless our power's out. But yeah, it's really cool. It'll actually charge your phone. It has 2 USB connections. You can actually set it to do the opposite. And if you're falling asleep and you're stupid lazy like me and Jesse are, and you don't even want to roll over and shut off the light, you can schedule it to shut off by itself. So it's really cool. I thought that was cool because watching one of the videos, it looked like the dude just like fell asleep with the light on, and then I see it gradually turn off. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they're lazy like we are. Yeah, and that's what the clapper is for. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and this like even has a phone app and stuff. So if you're even super lazy, you just have your phone right there.
You can even shut it off like when you're away. And like there's the work setting. So if you're like super late at night and you need to like look at like
important
cloth
business
patterns or whatever she's looking at, you can turn it on to like.
Is that what people do in the middle of the night?
I don't know. That's what she looks like she's doing. Or maybe she was coloring on those Color Me stress-free sheets or whatever. I don't know, but you can set it to like fluorescent setting. So it's really cool. I really like this one.
Yeah, and I love how it has those satellite lamps where you can like sync all the lamps. So you set the master lamp, and then all the other lamps kind of change to the right color temperature and do all the fancy stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool idea. How much is this thing going for?
It wasn't cheap.
$450 for the satellite lamp, and
it was like
$525 for the master lamp.
Yeah, for the master lamp.
So keep in mind, this doesn't even have bulbs. The light in it is built into this lamp, and it's supposedly 3 times as bright as a normal LED lamp.
Yeah, 60 watt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So is this
it jumps from $45 to get the Orchid Lamp T-shirt to $450. Like there's nothing in between. I guess you could donate like $100 and you'll still get a T-shirt, but yeah.
Yeah. So is this a backtrack or sack for you?
If I had the money, it would be a back. I really like this a lot.
It's a track for me just because it's a little pricey for me for a lamp. Yeah, and I right now I love in my house. I have these Switchmates. This thing is so. I haven't done a review on them, but these Switchmate things are so cool because what you do is there's magnets on them, and you just throw them on top of your plate on your switches. And it's connected via Bluetooth, and you can just use that to remotely turn on and off stuff. And there's sort of a timer. It doesn't do the fancy things like change the color temperature and stuff because it's still dependent on my light socket bulb. But
Yeah.
this looks like a really cool idea, and I just love that idea of having satellite things because I know, I think
That's what the world's turning into.
I think some of the light systems out there, like the smart light bulbs and stuff, you have to like manually set them one by one, which sounds like a pain. All right,
I
so
don't know.
for our last project tonight, I decided to pick something that kind of has a throwback to Noms, where it's a little bit food related. So, cousin, do you ever have this problem? You and Jesse or Walnut go to the movies, right? And
Yeah.
you always got to get some snacks, right? You don't go to the movies and not get some kind of concession, right?
I don't actually.
Go with
I
me.
bring it.
Well, so have you ever had this problem though? You go get concessions. One hand's holding the popcorn, the other hand's holding your drink, and you're like trying to make sure you don't spill everything, and then somehow you have the tickets like pinched in between two fingers and trying.
Half the popcorn is always on the floor by the time I walk into the theater.
Yeah. So hopefully this project is going to solve that. It is called the Chalice, and it is an all-in-one snacks and drink vessel. That's right.
Interesting.
One container to hold all your snacks and your drinks in it. So what it is it's this cup, and then on top of the cup and around where the straw is a bowl where you can hold fruit, candy, or whatever kind of dry food. And in between the lid, between the cup and the bottom of the bowl is a what do they call it? A thermal barrier. So that way, if you have a cold drink on the bottom and you have your hot popcorn, they're going to keep their temperature. So your hot popcorn's still going to be warm.
That's cool.
And your drinks are going to stay cold, so the heat doesn't transfer between the two of them.
So the straw doesn't like penetrate into it.
Yeah,
I guess.
And what's great about it is it comes in 3 sizes, so you can get the large, which comes with a 32-ounce cup and a 85-ounce bowl, a medium that comes with a 22-ounce cup and a 46-ounce bowl, and a small that has a 12-ounce cup and a 22-ounce bowl. So the small is kind of your single, and your large is more your like family size stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't share.
You'd get the large and not share.
I'd fill it full of Skittles or something.
And what's even cool about it is even with the bowl part, they actually have these dividers that you can put in. Let's see if I can find it. So there's like a 2-way divider, 4-way divider, and a 6-way divider. The dividers are kind of cool because I've seen where like the 2-way one, they'll fill half of it with salsa and they'll fill the other half with chips, so you don't have to worry about worrying about that. And of course, it has your lid, which there's a couple of them. You can do your lunchbox flat lid, or you can have a dome lid on top of it, and it has a lanyard where you can just wear it around your neck.
That's my concern, is that thing's going to topple over.
But you got lids for it.
Yeah, you have lids, but it's still going to topple over. But if you have a lanyard that comes in the color black only, I think you're good. Yeah. I like how it gives you the color choice of black, and that is the only color.
Yeah, it's just like the Model T.
Black.
You can get it in any color you want as long as it's black.
Yeah.
And it comes in blue, purple, yellow, and red. Does this sound like something you would want, cousin?
Not for me, probably, because I think they could see that I was bringing food into the theater if I did it like this.
It's like, ma'am, what's that around your neck?
Nothing. It's
my
just
chalice.
My necklace.
It's a family heirloom.
It's from Tiffany's. No, I don't know.
So yeah, like in the movie theater, it seems like a stretch, but it seems like this is a good idea for at home and stuff when you're having like family movie night and things like that. So you don't have to have like more than one thing.
I can't imagine Jesse and I like.
What? Wait, you're not going around
holding these things on date night at home, watching like Hot Fuzz or something.
Yeah, just he'll be like, "Hey, babe, grab the chalice."
Oh, is it date night?
It's like, yeah, fill it with popcorn.
Maybe, okay. I could see like bringing this and then like filling it with state fair food.
Oh no, you could
putting
take this
lemonade at the bottom.
You would be the talk of the town if you brought this to like a family reunion at a picnic or something.
Yes, right? I would be the talk of the town.
What are you saying? What are you saying? Like you could like have gummy bears and stuff in there and just walk around and say, "Hey, Uncle Bob, how you doing? You want a gummy bear?"
I just want to see how this goes. I could see people getting it. I think it's very bulky though.
Yeah,
Like I think it could still be very top heavy.
yeah. I'm trying to imagine a 32-ounce cup hanging on off my chest with a little
That's
giant bowl.
Trenta size.
Yeah,
at Starbucks.
I love how you evaluate things into Starbucks cup sizes.
Well, I worked in the beverage industry, so I had to know my sizes. That's Trenta size. This is not Trenta size. This is like grande size.
That's
But
closer
only
to
that
the.
much
Is that closer to the medium? That's a 22 ounce, or is it closer to small?
Small is a 16 ounce.
So small. So I don't know.
Grande is 16 ounce. I don't know what you're asking exactly.
Well, no, comparing it to the different sizes of chalice, because the small chalice is 12
That's a
ounces.
venti. It's
Yeah.
Starbucks size.
Hopefully people at home can relate, because they probably drink as much coffee as I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have that giant 32-ounce cup, and then you have an 85-ounce bowl that's going around it too.
It's gigantic.
Like, yeah.
I don't think I could give like a 2-year-old child this without them just falling over with the amount of gummy bears that are in the thing. Yeah. Just like touch it and the kid just falls over.
It's like, come here. I like those terrible gummy bears. Come over here.
I do like that it looks like a giant like cotton candy maker.
So
I want cotton candy right now.
So you want them to replace the bowl with a cotton candy maker? So you can just sit there and make cotton candy.
Yes! Yes! Please! I could just have cotton candy all the time. That would be amazing.
Somebody invent that, and that's like an Instaback for.
Or a popcorn maker. Just like put popcorn at the bottom and it heats up and pops up top.
That sounds dangerous, cousin. Considering how close that is to you. You're going to have hot oil and butter.
It's just like here on your chest and it's just popping.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, it could work.
Yeah, I love how the chat room's like, it's like Flavor Flav. Yeah, I'll be like, Chalice, Flavor Flav, man. Got my drink and my candy all together, yo.
Yeah. Hard. I don't.
So this is a backtracker sack for you.
This is a track for me. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I'd have to see this in person first to see if
Yeah.
it's KT sized or not, because I'd want the 32-ounce one, because again, I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I gotta get up to get a refill. What? All right. So that is it for our normal projects. And finally, we are going to our sack of the week. And so the sack of the week is usually a project we like to feature that just, could use a little TLC or some market research, or just extremely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't think you and I are really subject matters in this because we don't have any kids.
I have Jesse. He goes missing occasionally.
so
put it on him to figure out where he isn't coming home from work.
So maybe I'm wrong. You have a problem where you lose your husband occasionally.
Yes, exactly.
Don't you wish you could have a patch or something? Because sometimes he'll forget his phone and stuff. You try to give him a call and he won't answer, right? And you do find my phone, and all of a sudden it says he's at home, and then you look over at his computer, and that's where his phone is, right?
Yeah, or it just dies.
So this project is called the Anti-Kidnapping Patch, or the AKP. Look at this amazing sample picture right here, where
it looks like it should be a video.
So he doesn't have a video, and here's kind of like what the patch looks like. And I love this, like, did he do this on his iPad or use MS
I don't know.
Paint?
Look at the letter X. What is going on with that letter?
To write yeah.
And, like he forgot how to do this side of the X.
And I love how the L is lowercase, so it's Exampi.
Exampi. Okay, so my favorite part of this.
Go ahead.
Is the fact that he's asking for $125,000. But did you see like the length of the actual
so
project?
I'll show you. So do you want to see my favorite part of this?
What?
If you look at the project right here, under its description, a patch your child can wear, WARE, for up to a month at a time. So he's gonna wear it down.
Yeah. Okay. Up to a month. So that means if the child doesn't wash its arm, then it could be up to a month. But if he is a normal
kid
bather,
and listens to his parents and says, "Wash your hands, Timmy."
Yeah, one day probably.
And so to look at the rest of the project, so I'll read it to you. It's because it's a short. If you have children like myself, a space between my and self, you know how sick you would, how sick you would be to lose your child to a kidnapping, capital K.
Capital K.
Every day, over 500 children are abducted to predators. It can happen to you or I in a split second. Still nothing of this kind of technology has been developed. Like a birth control patch, my AKP patch will be placed on your child and will last for up to a month. This then can be replaced at your child's school with the nurse or simply do it yourself. The AKP will give you an alert to your phone when your child isn't home, at home, school, friend's house, or wherever you place the address of where your child should be. Even a specific time can be placed. That's it. For $1 more, you can get his outlook, and the description of that is keep an open mind. And estimated delivery is December 2019. As we are recording this episode, it is August 2016.
He has 25 days to go, and his only pledge is $1, and he's asking for $125,000.
Yeah, this is just... How do you have $1? Mine's at $0.
At least add the $125,000 option to go all in.
Well, look at this. So, from a project standpoint, it's terrible because he only has one tier, and you can't even get the patch out of the tier.
I know.
And
that's it.
I don't understand.
He doesn't even talk about how it works. He's just like, okay, there's a thing that I feel like would be cool.
Yeah.
So can I have $125,000?
Yeah.
I'm not really going to tell you how it works.
And he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't tell you where the money's going.
Could die.
Yeah, where the money's going, and I still don't understand the 3-year gap between you donating $1 and
he has to
and him giving you his outlook.
He has to get magic or something in the next 2 years or 3 years or whatever.
3 years.
He's like, okay, I have to hire a wizard and I have to get this IT guru and tell them, and maybe they'll make it for me. But I need 3 years.
What's the wizard gonna do?
I don't know. Keep your child from how do you... It'll give you an alert to your phone. How do you do that without a wizard helping you? I don't know.
I don't know. It seems like he just had this idea, and he's like, well, if I throw it on Kickstarter, I'm just going to make both a little money so I can make it happen, right?
Yeah.
But, we tell a lot of project creators this, too. Make sure you have a well-formed idea. And, how are you treating your investors by having them wait 3 years, even if they give you... what if somebody plopped down $125K right now?
Yeah. And we should do that. Let's get our own GoFundMe account just so we can raise enough money to fund this guy.
Yeah.
We're confused.
Some guy says he'd totally invest in wizard technology.
Yes.
D-Max has a good point. It takes 3 years to figure out which tax havens to hide this money.
Yeah. He's obviously not going to get the money. So he's pretty much just wasting people's time with this. I just have no idea.
This is a good example of everything you should not do when you're doing a project. And that's why we have the Sack of the Week. It's not malicious or anything, but we just, through looking at all the projects prepping for the show, I find some really bad projects, and this one is awful.
Yeah, he even says the world may not be ready for this type of technology. So that's his risk.
Yeah. So that is the Sack of the Week. And unfortunately, cousin, that is the end of this episode of the KickCast, episode 100. Cousin, thank you so much for being part of episode 100. It means a lot to me.
It means a lot to me that you asked me to be here specifically on your 100th episode.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. I thought about it. I think this show's 3 or 4 years old now. I don't know. Dates are blurring and I'm getting old and senile. And yeah, to everybody who's listening at home, who's listened to one or all 100 episodes, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
You guys are our investors.
Yeah, I love you all. Extra hugs when we meet in real life if you want a hug. Because I don't say it on this show, but I say it on Noms a lot, where, I have a hug tab. So if you ever meet me in real life, feel free to cash in on the hug tab if you would like. If you don't, that's cool. Either way, yeah. Right?
I don't hand out hugs.
Yeah, I'm the only one who does hugs. But we'd love to hear you guys. If you have a cool sack of the week, if you have any projects you want to cover, or if you just have a kick shout, shoot us an email, kickcast@ktdata.net, or leave it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/kickcast. Of course, you can always tweet us the projects at @ktdata for myself. You could tweet cousin Jane too, @Jane TV. But you should you should tweet her cooking stuff because that's what she does.
Yeah. Not Kickstarter stuff. I wouldn't know what to do with it. I would just hold it.
Yeah.
And then just drop it.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what to do.
But you can send it to me or send it to Drew at Night20. Actually, all of you, if you guys are listening, I know Drew's busy, but what you should do is get on Twitter and do @Night20 and say, congrats on 100 awesome KickCast episodes. We love you. Go out and do that. Drew will appreciate it because, like I said, he's a little stressed out right now. So little encouragement is always good. And of course, we always love everybody who watches live. All of you guys are awesome. I know some of you guys have been watching all 100 episodes and all 56 episodes of the Noms, and have been watching stuff that Cousin and I have been doing for over, what is it now, Cousin? Like 7-8 years?
I've been broadcasting almost 9 years.
Yeah, like it's almost a decade that some of these guys, we've known some of these guys. Appreciate all of you. Even if you're new, I appreciate all you guys too. You guys are awesome. And of course, so if you want to watch live, our next episode will be September 13th, 2016. Again,
not with me.
It won't be with Jane. I have a special guest host for that. And it's not Dito either, but I always had like Dito. But you'll be seeing more of Dito because Salt Lake Comic Con is this week. So pay attention to ktdata.net. And just pay attention to all the social media networks. We'll let you know when we go live on that day. Of course, kickcast.net has all the show notes. Cousin, do you got anything to plug before we go?
I'm doing 2 episodes of Twitch and Kitchen this week.
Ooh,
one on Thursday night, one on Friday during the day. I'm doing like all dessert making that day.
So for people who have never seen Twitch and Kitchen before, kind of describe what happens over there.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were about to. I'm like, okay, go ahead. Twitch and Kitchen is a cooking show on Twitch that is on my channel. It's just called Twitch and Kitchen. And I set up 2 of my cameras in the kitchen, that red thing behind me, and cook. So it could be stuff that y'all make or that y'all tell me to make, or stuff that I find on Pinterest, or stuff that I've been making throughout the years. This week I'm doing dinner on Thursday night, and then Friday during the day I'm making a ton of desserts for a 1-year-old's birthday party on Saturday and the Alabama USC viewing party for football.
It's college football season. Yeah.
I know, it's here. So excited.
All right. So you guys make sure you go to twitch.tv/Jane _DS. And you guys make sure you check it out. It's cool. Sometimes I watch, but it's at work, so I can't chat or anything. So I'm like that creeper family member just waiting for the food to be done.
With a plate.
Yep. Yep.
Is it ready?
That's me because I can't cook. I burn things. Lots of things.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for 100 episodes, and hopefully we will have 100 more. Till next week, guys, or until in 2 weeks, guys. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.